Good morning, citizens. Welcome to another episode of Objection Live. Celebrity Court Chatter. We are still following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively versus Wayfarer case. I've been calling it Lively versus Wayfarer lately because I was really like inspired by Be Free when he was talking about how it's like more than Baldoni and like Nathan and all them. Um, so I was like, I think I'm just gonna stick to Lively versus Wayfarer. I mean, sometimes I say Baldoni just for the um like the algo because Baldoni is more recognizable than Wayfarer. Colleen is just evil. Okay, let's lead with that on today's show for entertainment purposes. Allegedly, like for real, don't sue me. But if I could have made this the title of the show, I may have done that because yeah, this brought to light a lot of context surrounding Colleen, and one that was my Roman Empire. If you guys remember the last video that I did with Bocce, I was dead set, spent 2 days trying to sleuth out this article that Colleen got mad over. And the funny part is that the article it ended up being was one of the ones suggested when I was like trying to figure out which article in August were written about Colleen with Baldoni. And but I read it and I didn't think it had anything in it. Like I was just like, okay, this one's definitely not it. Like the headline is not misleading because I was just looking for a misleading headline. And anyways, there was no misleading headline. It ended up being something about Ryle. We're gonna get all into it. Let's get some people coming into the chat now. Because y'all, I literally put the show together and then just went live. I woke up same as you guys, realizing that the docket had spilt some new tea. I went out and collected as much as I could from anyone who was talking about it to bring you guys what the citizens are saying. And obviously, I want to give a big, huge shout out to Docket Updates because they made creating the show so much easier. We were able to go there. And that's where we're going to start off with. Yes, Bocce went live last night. So this was a late night drop, it seems like. Because I went to bed after the game. Shout out to the Eagles. We won. We are 7-2. Yesterday's game was pretty crazy. I was exhausted by the end of it because if you're an Eagles fan, if you know, it's how exhausting these games can be. But we did get the W, and I literally fell asleep right after. And go Eagles. Yes. Oh my gosh. I need to do the sports chatter show. There's a lot of sports legal news as well that's been coming up. So I definitely want to do a show and shout out the Eagles and all that. But anyways, we're here for Lively versus Wayfarer and all the new techs. Let me go ahead and start off with the docketupdates.com. If we can drop the link to that, you guys, this is where you can go and you yourself look at everything. It's a one-stop shop for everything related to the story. You can see for the latest news, you can click here, but it's got everything. You got the key players, you got every single case that comes out of it, not just BL versus Wayfair, but all of them, every single thing, even Popcorn Planet down here. Where is it? Right here. So anything y'all want to keep updated on, it's got everything. So can't say enough good things about this website. It makes research so much easier. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. These were the last two drops yesterday. So the one that I did see, I think when the game was going on at the end of the game was this one, the opposition for Melissa Nathan's sanctions. So we're gonna just look at that just for like a quick second. But yeah, so if you go in there, you click on it, here it is, written by Docket Updates, and look how seamless it is. I just love this. This is one of my favorite parts. I know I always mention it, but I love it. So we'll just go in here. Hold on one second. Yep, glad I checked because I was like, let me make sure that I'm tiny. Let's sorry, I'm just reading the chat to see who all is in here. Good morning, Gigi and Riley, KB, Trish. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into there. It is docketupdates.com. Thank you, Laura. And let's go ahead and read through this. It was 4 pages. I'm not going to read through it all, but basically the gist of it is that everything that they said in their sanction request, this is from Melissa Nathan. Remember, they wanted sanctions because she didn't redact what she was supposed to correctly and saying that she didn't provide documents. Well, it says that the plaintiff motion for sanctions fails for the simple reason that it does not stem from the violation of any court order. So they go into what the court order actually says and how it doesn't violate it. And then they go into that there is no clear rule about discovery. It says which would permit the imposition of sanctions or noncompliance of an order. So they're basically stating all these rules and these case laws, and how the discovery has like closed already. And they're like, she's disguising this letter of us doing something wrong in order to like compel us to do something. So it's like a disguised motion to compel. And a motion to compel is an actual motion you have to file where, you're compelling them to do something and the judge has to say, yes, compel them to do it. Um, and they can't do those anymore because discovery is closed. So anyways, it says Lively's arguments and some of the other documents on her list are essentially unreadable, is also unpersuasive. It's based on mischaracterization of Nathan's deposition testimony about one of the documents. When pressed by Lively's counsel, Nathan merely admitted that as with all redacted documents, including those produced by Lively, it is possible that it might be a little easier to read if the documents had not been redacted. Importantly, Lively does not argue, nor is it the case that she was unable to question Nathan about the unredacted and only responsive portion of the sole document she claims was unreadable. So because it had so many redactions that it was unreadable, but then she's saying, well, you had her at a deposition where you could have asked her about the unredacted stuff. That's what it sounds like to me. We still don't have any TikTok creator content regarding this because obviously it just dropped yesterday. The usuals is going to be Little Girl Attorney and not actually Golden. So keep a lookout for that. And I had a message today on X and they were like, thank you so much for responding, because they were wondering like, where can you get the TikTok videos? Because like I said in my last episode, if you don't have a TikTok account, you could just watch them in here. She embeds them all and you can see what the streets are saying, what all the citizens are saying. You could just look here. So that's something to go back on. She's basically saying like, everything she said was inaccurate and then corrects it. And I read through it last night. This is the one that I did read through. But it was so like girthy with case law and all that stuff. And like I try to skip over the case law to like just look at the like what it's trying to say. But I do want to like look into it and see what they're actually saying with all the case law they're citing and stuff. Because see, it even says like go back to Benson's declaration. So she keeps talking about the Summer Benson Declaration, which is where we are getting all of our tea from. So let's move on to that part because I know it's morning and I only got y'all for a little bit. So I want to try and get through it. So this is Summer Benson and her declaration. And the exhibits that were attached to this is what ends up being all of the tea. It says attached here is an exhibit. So basically she's just declaring that all the exhibits, what they are and all that stuff. If you want to read through that again, go to docket updates here. It's right here. So, and then here is where everything is linked. So this is the show that I'm going through here, with all the exhibits and the text messages. We're just going to go through them with you guys. And, it's got the links and stuff. And then I'm also going to go through some of the stuff that the citizens are saying about what's going on. And some of the comments that we've gotten about, all the new discoveries, which is basically calling Brandon and Isabella and how it all went down. It is so saddening to see, just from what I've read, and I haven't read all of it, y'all. Like, we're all going through this journey together this morning. But I mean, I woke up to all kinds of stuff that was just like, really, it made me mad. And then it made me be like, no, I need to just get on right now. I wanted to do it like tonight, but I'm like, no, we need to get this out there now. This is egregious, guys. So egregious. Okay. So yeah, this is the exhibit list. And then it seems like one creator has said some stuff down here, a TikTok creator, but we're just going to get into exhibit. Let's see what this one is. We're going to get into exhibit 2. Okay. So these are the emails of between the attorneys. And I remember, let me see what citizens were saying about the email real quick, because there is one that where it's like summarized. Let me see if I can find that one. Was it over on Reddit? Because it ends with lawsuits is also invaluable, like to get tea as well. So I just try to gather everything that I could for y'all. Um, yeah, I don't think I captured that one. Okay, we'll just go through it and see what's in here. So they're talking about the court's initial case management plan and scheduling order dated February 3rd established an August 14th deadline for the close of fact discovery and July 2025 deadline for parties to substantially complete document production. Given the Wayfarer defendant's deficient productions made as of the court order's substantial completion deadline, the parties sought in the court order several deadlines for the productions to September 30th. Okay, so they're talking about how the deadline got moved. She produced her stuff. The Wayfarer defendants never moved to compel. Instead, 2 months after the operative deadline to move and a week after the extended fact discovery deadline, you began to take issue for the first time with certain documents by Miss Lively. Oh, so they used their own words against them. Okay, so that's what I saw in the one thing, because she does use this in the filing, the other one, the actual response to the sanctions. She uses this. There's a paragraph in there that says, like, just like Miss Lively said in her emails or whatever. Let me just go get it. Sorry, y'all. I just for the sake of it, I want to just go get it for y'all, because she does cite it. She cites it somewhere right here. She's like, maybe it's on the other page, because she does cite it. She's like she said, um, you can't, after discovery, go through all this stuff. Where is it? Maybe I can't find it like quickly, but she says it. She's like, according to Miss Lively's own words, where is it? Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Let me just try one last time. Um, is it here? No. Dang it. But she does quote it. All right, y'all. She does quote it over there. Okay. She quotes this part, the bolded part. 2 months after the operative deadline to move and a week after the extended fact discovery. No, wait, what did she say? Yeah, that you're trying to move to compel something, like, so yeah, anyways, I think that's the part that they were trying to quote, and maybe that's why this exhibit's in there. But let's see what's in the highlighted stuff. It says, I understand. Oh, so this is why he was, so they were basically reprimanding them, saying like, oh, now you have a problem with the document. It's too late, blah, 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 right? And so in the process of quoting that and including this exhibit, it got exposed that the metadata in the 30-point protection list, and you know who clocked this early, y'all? Bachi Gohawk. She, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I don't know, a couple days ago, um, a while ago, I guess. I don't know when it was, but she was saying like, she's like, my new Roman Empire is getting the metadata for the 30-point list. And someone tagged me like, oh, hey, get on this. I'm like, you can't get on it because it's embedded into the lawsuit. It's like a page in the lawsuit. Like there's no metadata to click or do anything. Not that I know anything about metadata, but last time I think I emailed it to Googe or somebody that did know. But she was clocking this metadata. So let's just get into what it says here. It says, I'm raising this stuff again because of two specific documents. The protection document is highly relevant to the litigation. And if you guys want to know why it's relevant, go check out Bachi Gohawk's video. She has a whole series. I call it the 30-point series. I'm going to see if she can put it into a playlist so you guys can just go watch it like as a playlist. But she asks all of these questions. So I was like, dang, like you be lawyering, because all this stuff is in her 30-point list. And this all happened like a long time ago. This is October 13th. So yeah, it's just crazy that that she clocked it early, because she was like, when did she make this? Because she even started making videos about how was the list written like in order. Like if she had written it as it was happening, she's like, obviously you'd put dates. There's no dates there, but was it written in order as it was happening? And this is what they're wondering, like, when was this written? It says, The document is missing because the underlying document was not saved to plaintiff's iCloud account. It should not end the inquiry. And then it says, by default, Apple's Pages word processing program automatically saves documents as you work on them. Therefore, the document was either saved locally on an iCloud at some point in time, like in a notepad. That's what I'm assuming they're saying. Or Pages, I guess they're saying, yeah, the Pages app. Your statement that the document was not stored on iCloud is not specific enough. So it wasn't stored to the cloud. Was it ever saved to plaintiff's iCloud account? If it was saved, then advise when it was deleted. In addition, advise if the document was ever saved locally on one of plaintiff's devices, phone, iPad, computer, laptop. Did you look on the devices for these documents? If it was not available, when was it deleted? Plaintiff has claimed work product protection as early as May 19th, as on her privilege log, reflecting that as of that date, she anticipated litigation. Therefore, please explain why all documents were not retained and preserved that were dated or created on May 19th or thereafter. So they're calling her out, and I think that the date on that ends up being like July 2025. So like way after the lawsuit, and that's what they handed in as metadata. Let me just go look at the chat super quick. See what everyone else is talking about as before we get into it. But yeah, it goes more further into the metadata. We're gonna get into it. Good morning. I knew I had to go on because I'm like, I'm just gonna be thinking about it all day. And if I don't go on till tonight, like I need to get it out. Yes, my heart hurts for Justin. So many betrayals. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get into all of that. If you haven't liked the stream yet, give it a like. And I was trying to see if we had any members here today. We don't have any members, but if you want to become a member and get a super chat so I can for sure read your text, it's $2.99 to join to become a member, and you get one free super chat a month, so you can get one today if you become a member for $2.99. Okay, so let's get back into it now that we got that out of the way. And let me get the comment. What document is missing the metadata? Roses, we are talking about the 30-point list. Let me go to our, what I call the Bible's Old Testament, the lawsuit info. Oh, it wouldn't be in the lawsuit info. Okay, so I'm tripping because this is on hers. So let me go into docket updates. I'm like literally taking my sweet time knowing that it's supposed to be an hour show, but I'm going to try and get through it. Hold on. Because it's important for you guys to get the context on which document it is, and I didn't even think to pull that up. Is this? Oh wait, it's descending. Hold on. Well, this is the lawsuit. Where's the CRD? Okay, hold on. The CRD is in Jed Wallace's case. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Because it's a 30-point list in the CRD. That's the earliest it appears. I was gonna bring up her lawsuit, but I think it's right here. Yep, here it is. Are y'all seeing all that? Yeah, okay, let me just make it a little bit bigger. So this is the embedded 30-point list, and this was on page 1 of her lawsuit or her CRD. So this is the intro, and this is what got everybody and what everybody's been talking about, how this is one of the most important documents. And Bocce's one of the ones that has come out and said, like, look, y'all, we need to go back and look at this 30-point list. It's not mathing. But when I first read it, I was like, I thought all of this was like almost like true, because she's like, here's the list that we gave him at this meeting. And it looked like, and so then the rest of the document, you're reading it as if this is like Bible almost. It's really crazy how it manipulates you that way. And this was never even an official document or nothing. You guys see how this is just embedded in there like that, and there's no like where it came from or like what. So this is the 30-point list that she said happened, where there's like, there's stuff that just doesn't add up. And if you guys go look at that 30-point series from Bocce, she goes point by point of what doesn't add up. So this is what we're talking about with the metadata. So let's get back to that one real quick. It says, please let us know when we can expect a response. Look, the metadata for the 2 pages you list above reflects a creation date of July 23rd, 2025. The 30-point list in the second amended complaint first appeared in the CRD complaint on December 20th, 2024. And the complaint alleges that this list existed as of January 4th, 2024. Obviously, the July 23rd, 2025 created document cannot be what Ms. Lively allegedly read on January 4th, 2025, as it was not created until July 23rd, 2025. Second, the two documents produced as, this is the bait stamp, appear to be screenshots of yet another document that was not produced. Note that envelope legend on the bottom of page, blah, blah, blah. Where is the original document with the metadata as required by the ESI protocol? And this is electronic, I forget, there's like, ESI means like basically what they use to, the standard of what they use to extract data. Was it destroyed or deleted? If so, when did that occur? Third, the title of this document is cut off. It reads BL Blake Lively updated LS list of prode pages, 388 KB. It also has a timestamp in the upper left-hand corner, but it does not have a date. Where is the missing information regarding this document? So it says updated LS list, Leslie Sloan list of protections. Blake Lively updated LS list, or what can LS mean, y'all in the chat? I'm thinking LS is Leslie Sloan. Finally, if the document was destroyed, please advise when it was destroyed and explain why it was not preserved, given Mrs. Lively's claims that she anticipated litigation as early as May 19th, 2023. So she herself, see how they're like using everything against her that she says? Like, oh, it should have been preserved if you're anticipating litigation. So if she's saying this is when it was anticipated, then why didn't she preserve stuff? The same issues exist with respect to this document that exists with respect to number 1 above. Your comment raises issues regarding the adequacy of plaintiff's privilege log. The description of many of the items listed on the log read email providing. You now claim some of these include versions of the protections or requirements documents. We note that this bait stamp is Blake Lively's updated Lindsay Strasberg's list of protection. Okay, so this is what the LS is. Is Miss Strasberg's list, which Blake Lively revised on the privilege log? Which entry? Who's Lindsay Strasberg, y'all? Who is Lindsay Strasberg? Does anybody know? Can the chat help me out? This reveals that your privilege log is insufficient as it does not allow us to evaluate your claim of privilege. For example, the documents with the titles reflected in numbers 1 and 4 above are not privileged, and if a document bearing that title was withheld on the grounds of privilege, we are entitled to challenge it. So she's not providing what needs to be provided. Who is Susan Kent? Oh, okay. So this is where they were talking about how there's interesting names in there. Okay, these issues have caused us to examine your privilege log more closely. Who is Susan Kent, Cami Aspar, Phil Singer? In addition, you have claimed a common interest privilege with Colleen Hoover. So these are some of the talking points that are going to come out of this, you guys, in the next few days. It's going to be a crazy week. The summary judgment is coming out, and that's all the evidence they have because discovery is over. So whatever they have is going to be thrown in there for the public to see, I'm assuming. And this is just like a tiny little bit of a preview, if you may. But these are some of the talking points that I saw over on Reddit. A common interest privilege with Colleen Hoover. Like why would her and Colleen Hoover have a common interest privilege? So some people are sleuthing that out and what that could mean. Who is Susan Kent, Cami Aspar, and Phil Singer? So those are some names we'll have to sleuth out on who those people are. But I believe the docket updates did say that, over here. See, look, they even have interesting names mentioned. And so maybe they'll link everybody else. But Cami Asgar is a sound department producer. So that might be related to help with sound. Who knows? Okay. So they do all that. They talk about that. Let's see what else is in here. More deficiencies. They did not produce the documents. I think this is in backwards order. So this is like as the replies are going. Plaintiff did not serve a deposition notice for Mr. Greystone as reflected to the joint stipulation. Greystone? Is that her talent manager or somebody? So something about depositions, starting depositions at 9. I don't see anything else highlighted. So I think it just starts from here. This is like the text thread, and then it goes up. So if you guys want to hear more about Mr. Greystone and read all of this stuff, you guys can go check this out at Docket Updates to finish reading it, because we're under time constraints. I mean, I want to try and keep it at least to an hour and a half, not any longer, because that way you guys can just consume it and then, go out and do your own sleuthing and all that stuff. Okay, so Exhibit 3 is the next one. Let me go check out the chat and see if y'all answered. Lindsay Strawman. Oh, okay. So that's her other lawyer. Okay. My bad, y'all. I'm reading it with you guys. So that's why I'm just like, okay, who is this? Like, I'm literally reacting in real time. This is like live reaction. Oh, there's a member here. Shanonos. Thank you for being a member. I was looking for members earlier. I appreciate you so much. You keep this thing going. We're back on StreamYard over here. Let's see what you guys. Oh, I believe it was Leslie Sloan. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Leslie Sloan, but yeah, there's so many Leslies and so many like same name stuff. Yeah, Rose is wild. That's why people get confused. She put the 30-point list as if it was a 17-point list they signed, but it wasn't. But because she put it in the beginning. Oh, Laura, you are a member. You have a little badge. Laura's like, I'm a member. I forget. It's because you show up with the little wrench. And so I just don't see the badge. So I don't see you on the side of my my chat under yay, Laura. Just Khaleesi is also a member. I don't see your name's not colored. It's a different color than the member color. So sorry. I do appreciate that too as well. So let's continue into narcs are gonna narc. Oh, Tiffany is a member as well. Okay, I hadn't seen your name up there. My kiddo has my phone, so I'm listening on the TV and can't chat, but I'm here listening. This is good. I know, and it's just like real time because I'm like, I put it all together and I was like, I'll do like a show tonight and maybe like get people on and stuff. But I'm like, I was so angry. I wanted to get it out and see what you guys thought. Yes, thank you for modding as well, Laura. Appreciate that. We don't have DFJ here this morning, but it's because nobody knew I was going on. Because remember, I'm only going on Monday, so we don't have the usual crew. But thank you, Jess Khaleesi, and all the other members here that I might not have caught early on when I was browsing the chat. All right, guys, so let's get into it. What was it that I had asked y'all? Oh, Leslie Strasberg. Okay, you guys did answer that. Okay, great job, chat. I appreciate it. Great job being my backup, so I don't have to like go and check and look. Okay. All right, let's continue on. So this is where the text starts. So let me see. Yeah, it's a lot of text. It's a lot of text. That's why I was like, okay, maybe I should just do the highlights that I queued up. But let's just see. Let's just get through a couple of them and then we'll just see. But I do have like some highlights from. Let's just see. Let's just go. Okay, so this one is about Sony. So it starts off with hot spilling tea with Sony. What the hell is this really? Really, Sony? It says Hollywood Reporter Sony article. Okay, so I did pull that one up. Here it is. It ends with a Sony chief praises Blake Lively for advancing the conversation around domestic violence. And it was like the complete opposite. And so this guy, he's not even around anymore. Tony Vinkera, he stepped down. So y'all can sleeve that out. Tony Vinkera, yeah, he stepped down. And I don't know if it was because of this or what. Let me just really quick go look. Wait, let me go to quits or resigns. Hold on. So January 2nd. So this was right after the lawsuit. Tony Vincera steps down as CEO. He's like, oh shit. They're gonna know I was in cahoots with them. I don't know. Okay, let's just go back to reading this. But yeah, that's who Tony Viscara is. And that was the article. It was him basically praising, and he's like, "This is all wrong," and they didn't buy the rights to produce the film. So let me see, where it talks about the rights so we can cross-reference it real quick. Let me go over here. Um, right here. Okay, so this is where he's like, "This is a lie. The screening of the movie, the first of Hoover's popular novels to hit the screen, proved to be a stroke of marketing genius for Sony, which bought rights to release the movie from Wayfarer Studios." So this is a complete lie. So who is Pamela McClintock? Senior film writer. Okay, so this is where are you getting your info? Did Tony feed this to them? All right, let's go look. Let's go back. They didn't produce the film. This is a blatant lie about her advancing domestic violence convos. And then so he did include the screenshot where it says, Sony is fully in sync with Lively. Blake, Colleen, and so many women put too much effort into this movie, working selflessly from the start to ensure that such an important subject matter was handled with care. Audiences love the movie. Blake's passion and commitment to advancing the conversation around domestic violence is commendable. We love working with Blake, and we want to do 12 more movies with her. This sounds like one of those statements that that Ryan was going to make Wayfair sign. We love working with Blake, and we want to do 12 more movies with her. It's complete BS. We were alerted approximately 5 minutes before going live. There's many things here that need adjusting, but taking a step back, the fan uprising against this piece is starting to swell. This will backfire on them. And then there's, I guess, the comments from THR. I think that Docket Updates has that comment thread. So you guys can go check that out if you guys want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. And then Justin Baldoni gets snarky here. He's like, "Hi, I'm Sony, and I'm gonna cozy up to Brian and erase Justin. Let the fans handle it, I guess. It's just crazy. Sony has no spine, and yet, as Jamie says, they are doing their job." Because Jamie, out of all this, ends up being like the voice of reason. Like I saw a couple messages going around where he's like, "Okay, guys," and remember that he was the go-to, the middle guy. Remember Steve Sarowitz says it in the Claire Ayub recording. And then we also hear it from who else said that he was in the lawsuit info timeline. He's the one that tries to go like in between Blake and like Justin and all that stuff. Like, "Hey Blake, can we just get on a call?" And that's when she's like, "Whatever you guys say, just say it in the text." And he's like, "I'm really trying. Like, can we just get on a call?" So he was the voice of reason, I guess, between them and like trying to implement like the Baha'i faith and all that stuff. You know how they do, like just take the high road. So then it says, while this caught everyone off guard and feels horrible to have them take such a stance, I do feel like this will backfire and not change the position we are in at all. If anything, it has turned the internet even more against Blake and Ryan because they have seen the press firsthand. And so this is August 15th. So this is after they put him in the basement, all that stuff. We can chat in the AM and then regroup later. So this is Jamie. It's like, "No, this is not perfect. There's misinformation, and yet I see this as a win. Let her be praised by Sony. Who cares? It's not a bullet at us." Like he's like, "Who cares? Like let her have the win." Finally, there's an article that is not directed at Justin. So he's like, "Look at the bright sides." He's like, "Who knows? Maybe Blake and Ryan forced Sony to put something out on their behalf," which is what I think. "Even if they did it on their own volition, who cares? The industry knows the truth. We know the truth. Whether or not 12 or 100 fans read that and believe it, it does not matter. As I've said many times, Sony's job is to promote the movie and to make us as much money as they can." That's the only reason because they partnered with them, and Sony's thing was like, "We're going to make you as much money as we can." And that's what they were trying to do. I don't expect that to be any different than who they have always been and who they are. So he's like, "We already know what Sony, like this big production company, we already know." Says, "And the fact they are cozying up to Blake also makes sense if they are even doing that. They are a business that is protecting their own bottom line." And that's really like mature of him to think of it that way. What Wayfair stands for is what Wayfair stands for. And I don't expect anyone else to stand for that. If we can get some things corrected, great. If not, who cares? And honestly, I don't care who Sony nuzzles up to. As long as they can put out a movie of ours and make money so that we can be Wayfair and do what we do, then I am good. Let's not lose sight of the big picture. And if that comes at the expense of her being praised, then so be it. And that is the wind. And yet I get it. It's so frustrating. And so, yeah, he starts to send some TikTok videos over. which were linked in the docket update if you guys wanted to go watch those. That's referenced there, Justin Baldoni. So I'll just share like what they are, but I'm not going to play them all because it'll take a long time. But it was one about Justin Baldoni's crisis management team, another one in reference to Justin Baldoni hiring Johnny Depp's PR manager, and then I don't know. I think this one comes later. Okay, so yeah, I think it was just these two. But you guys can go to docket updates, and even if you don't have TikTok, like I said, you can just read it there. I mean, watch it there. It'll have the link to just watch it there. Okay, so it says people are thinking it's us. Watch this video. Oh, like is this bots? Are we doing anything to influence this stuff? It's like real no, it's real people coming to your defense. And then I think the one where it was like talking about Melissa Nathan and the PR, I think that's when he's like and this one I think we just saw in the last drop about like, don't you know the game? It says, we know there'll be people who fan the fire from the East, but if the majority are speaking from the West, then damn it, let's live in the West and simply keep an eye on the East. Yes, I'm now a poet. This is Jamie Heath. I love him. Also, it's late on the East Coast and we're probably keeping people up. Let's go dark. And so then he sends a TikTok video. Sorry for the early text. So I don't know which TikTok video he sends, but she linked them all. She referenced them in the docket updates. I just don't know which one belongs to which one. So then he keeps on going. It's Melissa Tag and Jennifer Abel in the morning. So the next morning, or is it that same morning, I guess? Have you received any requests for comments? Okay, so he's like, I'm a little more concerned about these TikToks claiming they know information. So this is the other juicy part. This one was another one that was highlighted that I did see this morning. I'm a little more concerned about these TikToks claiming they know information. There are some dark, disturbing stories about me that are going to break as they're getting DMs. The only way that would be happening is if these are lies. And this is in direct reference, I think, to friggin' Jenna Redfield, who was like, she built it up over and over. She was like, there's these DMs and like, I can't talk about it. And I've given it to, the LA Times, which at the time we didn't know was the LA Times, but she's like, gave it to press and they're investigating it and blah, blah, blah. And she like kept making videos for like, I guess the algo. And that's why she's like, oh, Melissa Nathan said this girl's going down like a dark path for followers because she's just like regurgitating these DMs that she doesn't even know if they're true or not. And then she's going to other outlets to spread it. It was crazy. So Bocce has a great video on this and how it brings Jenna Redfield back into the chat with this message because we basically now want to know, did Wayfarer obtain the actual DMs and like where those DMs came from, which accounts were they burner accounts? We know that she says some of Colleen's friends were some of the people that were DMing her, and now we're going to know why, because Colleen basically turns on Justin. But we do know that, but how many of those were burner accounts from maybe Lively or some other people? Like, we don't know. So that's one of the things that Bocce saying is her new Roman Empire of these DMs from Jenna Redfield. They're going to come into play and be important. So she thinks that, and then the 30-point list metadata is like some of the most important things in this case. And she's right, because the DMs is kind of like what started it. That girl kind of started it, especially on TikTok. Okay, so it says, I'm not concerned about this because we all know there's no dark and disturbing stories. It's just socials acting like how they would in the situation. More clicks, more views. Referencing the Australian podcast you saw, that's complete garbage. Oh, so that's what they're referencing with this one. So that's the second one. So I think the first one was this one, where the one where he was like, what is happening? But this is the Australian podcast, I'm pretty sure here. Shameless podcast. So y'all can go watch that for context, but we're just going to continue to read it. He says, and referencing the Australian podcast you saw, that's complete garbage. I can tell you, hand in my heart, there was 4 human women working on that trial, and I was one of them. Because they basically were saying that the Johnny Depp people were Russian bots, I guess. But she's saying it was organic. What you're having right now is the outpouring of love and support being weaponized against you by her side, because it can't be true. It says, I personally am not concerned about this. I appreciate, okay, so he liked it. Um, he keeps saying, "This is all a first for me. I appreciate you walking me through this. Like, this is all just like a first for me. I've never had to go through this." So for them to say that he was like plotting and he's the one behind the smear campaign, it doesn't sound like he had anything to do with any smears or anything. And even if, let's just say by some miracle, there's like they say yes, there was a smear campaign, it still doesn't mean that he took part of it, because in every single text messages he's saying, like, I don't know what's happening. I'm trusting you guys, all that stuff. So for her to be able to connect those two is going to be really hard for her. Which is even more reason you're on our side, because you have never had an issue like this before. Yeah. So she's even saying like, yeah, of course you haven't. You're on the right side. Um, it's not bots. If I see that narrative one more time, I'm unleashing the Harvey article. So some people are like, what is the Harvey article? So for you super sleuths out there, that's another one. There's another Easter egg there for you to sleuth out. The Harvey article. So let's say, thank you, Christina. Oh, we got Christina in the house. She never makes an appearance in the morning. Yes. And yes, I do go live on TikTok, so you guys can follow me over there on TikTok. And yes, thank you for putting Bocce stuff out there. We're gonna end the show with some of her Spotify songs. Today, she's got like, I don't know. Right now, I'm really hooked on her content because she's got incredibly fresh ideas. If you guys have not gone to go watch Bocce over on Elsrich's channel, Elsrich TV did one on TMZ, which was such a fresh take. Everyone was talking about the TMZ video and regarding it, or reacting to it. But Bocce had like Bocce and Elsie had a complete different outlook. With they pulled up old videos, and it's one of the freshest takes on the TMZ video with Brian Friedman. So y'all go check that out. It's under my posts in my community here. I reposted it so you guys can have direct access to go over there and check them out. Yeah, Christina says I'm actually able to make a morning live. Okay, yeah, I'm going on an hour, so I need to get a move on here. It might be a little bit longer. We might be here for a second and break for lunch, I guess, and then be done. Okay, let's see. The text from Baldoni says Colleen's betrayal hospitalized him has made me so incredibly angry. May everything she attempts turn to dust from now until, yes, infinity. Yes, when we get into that. Oh my gosh, Pam, I have such a good chat today. I mean, I do every time, but this is cool when Pam shows up. I will have to watch later. You're doing a great job. Can't wait to watch this in full. Thank you so much, Pam. I love her. Y'all go check out Pam Entertainment TV. She does a ton of celebrity chatter and court chatter. And she's been covering a lot of the cases that I kind of stopped covering. So yeah, make sure y'all go check her out. I love it when she stops by. Thank you for the kind words. Okay, so I can't scroll all the way up. So those are kind of the chats that I got to catch up to. She says, I wonder if it's connected with Salma Hayek saying that Blake took the big bad wolf of Hollywood on. Yeah, we'll have to I'll have to look into that, because I always thought, like, who was she talking about? The big bad wolf was, people thought it was Harvey Weinstein. I think that's about Oliver Stone. Oh, okay. Yeah, Oliver Stone, when she made those comments about savages. Yeah, that could have been. Yeah, a lot of people said it was Harvey Weinstein, but I'm like, why would it be Harvey? Okay, let's just continue, because it's like I said, it gets spicier and spicier. Let me make sure that I don't have the comments up so you guys can read it. Okay. I'm glad I'm going over it with you guys, because yeah, it's just crazy. And then I'm seeing like different little things as I'm talking about it. Emily wanted to go have tea and a croissant at the Duchess at around 8:30. A lot of people were saying how wholesome this was, that Emily wanted to go get tea and a croissant. Just gives you like a little insight into like their little lives as they were going through this. Like, she just wanted some peace, just a little croissant and some tea. It says Jamie does that work. Okay, so they're just kind of bantering here. Sending an invite, blah blah blah. Okay, let's just okay, so here's the Instagram post that they're sending. I believe she linked that, and it was something about Brandon Sklenar in People magazine, like an interview he gave. So I'm not gonna play it because for some reason my audio is out, y'all. And I usually know how to fix it, but I'm not gonna play it. You guys can go support Docket Updates, so you guys can go over there and download the videos to play them over there. Oh, and she also here's the comment section. I found it. So this is the comment section from Brandon Sklenar's People article. Um, it says, "Yeah, you know you did a dirty with Justin. You better start speaking truth. Justin is the director. Where does this guy come from? He does not have any emotional range. Can someone please fill me in? What did I miss? What's the drama? Um, he did a disservice to domestic violence. Happy to hear him giving props to Justin. So I don't know if this is why they're let's go look to see why they included this. So this is some of the stuff that he sent over, okay? This is huge. Oh, okay. So was it an Instagram with Brendan? People have been pretty terrible. Nice to see them post it. My dad posted it a few days ago, but of course it was much more about Blake. Um So I guess it was a good thing because he was praising him. So in that Instagram, it's obviously him praising him. And I think I did a cut. I did an edit where it was about all the betrayal, and I think it was like it cut his little where he's like, I used to love him, and then it's like it cuts to him standing with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds at the premiere. Because yeah, this is when he spoke, I guess, good about him, but it was on August 15th, but it must have been this interview must be what was cited in the what you call it, the lawsuit info. Remember when there's like he gives like this interview for like a junket type of thing, and it quotes him and Isabella. They both did these like little interviews. But I guess people reprinted it. So let's just go continue and look to see what else they had to say about this. Um I flagged this to Elizabeth yesterday. I think she felt the pressure after our call last night. So they pressured her into putting it out like, hey, you need to put something out. Can we have digital team boost this interview? Yes, for sure. So all they were doing is like they were like, okay, look, here's something. Somebody wrote a nice article about it. We included it. Like they're just doing their jobs, it seems like to me. Like she's like, okay, yeah. Is there anything we can and pressure can mean anything. It could just mean that they just kept trying, like they didn't give up and they're like, hey, can you please just put this out there? Um, is there anything we can do at Claire's place to help? So I don't know what Claire's place is. Maybe like from Claire Wineland's mom. Hi there. Is there anything we can do at Claire's place to help? Can someone in the chat figure out who Claire Wineland and Claire's place is? If y'all want, if you guys can. This to me feels like a post or something to amplify. I even talk about the news cycle and clickbait. The news cycle and clickbait. Definitely let's boost this AP piece. So I don't know what this Instagram one is, what reel this is. I'll have to look it up, that one. I don't think we have that one. But it's something about how he talks about clickbait and news site. This video is great, and we have pushed it out digitally. In terms of you posting it yourself, I would avoid resharing anything that's essentially a response to negative feedback. As caption here is, response to critics who say film glorifies DV. Okay, so that's the article I thought was this is the one I thought that Colleen was mad about. This is the one that when me and Bocce did our episode the other day, the live, I read this article, response to critics who say film glorifies DV, because he says something about how like I could see how someone who's been through DV would be like weirded out by having like their experience in a romance novel. And so I was like, oh, maybe she got mad because, he kind of like slighted her writing or whatever. But it wasn't that article. It was the one that we're going to show you guys once we get into that part. But also the Brandon People piece is blowing up online, getting great traction and reception. These fan videos I made for people are starting to come back to help me. So people were reposting the fan videos that he would do in response to like other people. She's also given us some good shout outs. She's doing both. She said she had no choice because she's inundated. Melissa, here is your friend. Yuck. So it was someone who was Melissa's friends. There's a lot of TikTok links in here, you guys. I'm going to have to like sleuth out all the TikTok links and see what was in them. Because there was only a couple. The ones that I downloaded, I mean, I've already shown y'all that it was just those ones. I'm sure that she's just updating it as it goes. Because like, honestly, this literally just dropped last night. So everyone's just catching up. So yeah, keep an eye over there for those who don't have TikTok. She'll probably post those. Colleen just texted this to us. Okay, so here's where we get into the Colleen T. Y'all ready? Let me check the chat real quick. Let's check the chat. Christina, you have to go? Okay, replay crew then. Um, Oliver is known to be a big bully too. Did we find out who Claire's place was? Was it just like a they might not be going to trial because Delulu BL will be tapping out before trial. Yes, everyone is saying that this might not go to trial. But remember, B Free said in that TMZ video, he said, this has to go to trial. And then he says this will be the first time Justin can speak. So I don't know. I was excited about that because I'm like, oh, does that mean he's gonna go up there and like talk and everything? Like we're gonna hear from him. Let's see what okay, we're just gonna get right into it then, you guys. Please hit the like and subscribe, yeah, because with what time did I start? 10:15? Okay, so it's been 1 hour. Okay, let me continue. I'll hide this one. Okay. Yeah, everybody thinks it's not going to trial. So this is where the Colleen stuff comes in, and it's messed up. Colleen just texted that says, first time we've heard from her. Could someone please send Jamie the actual context of what I said so he can respond to Colleen? This should be on video recorded from the rap. I never said I changed his fate. I said I didn't want to see him at the end of the movie as it was too complicated to explain how he was co-parenting and would draw too many people in, and she agreed. This has nothing to do with the book, and we don't control the rap and their headlines, just as we don't control all the negative and untrue things she and Blake have been saying about me and the controversy they created. We haven't leaked anything, and we've taken the high road the whole time, even after she betrayed and ghosted me. So this is a lie. Please delete it. It does nothing but fuel the fire of what they're saying about me. If this were true, you wouldn't have asked me numerous times about Ryle's role in book 2. I have kept quiet, but this is just mean. So you see how this came from a misunderstanding too but by this time she had already sided with Blake. This is 8:15. So see, I thought that happened before she had sided with Blake. Like, she did something, and then that's why I was looking for an article around the 9th. I'm like, that's why her friends were starting to message Jenna Redfield. But it could have been that it was on the 15th when, because she said she got multiple messages. So maybe some of them were from burner accounts, and then some of them were from Colleen's friends that came later after she thought she got slighted. But remember, this is after she like shut him out of Book Bonanza without telling him, a bunch of stuff. Like, so this is kind of rich for her to be like, well, you're being mean. It's like, well, shit, you've been mean. You let them put me in the basement. I'm your friend. So I don't know. I said, we got to stay on Colleen's neck again because she has entered the chat, and it is not fair, y'all. Like, there's got to be accountability somehow. And like, you know how they say we pay with like our pocketbook, or we hold people accountable with our pocketbooks, and it's like, don't go support her films and all this stuff, because it's just like, it's saying like what she did was okay. And I mean, at the end of the day, you guys do what y'all feel in your hearts. I'm not saying for anybody to go do anything actually, but I'm just saying in my heart I feel like supporting things that surround Colleen right now is giving it like an okay for what she did, because it gets pretty sad here. And little side note, that Jenna Redfield girl did a review of Regretting You and said she got a special screening. So I don't know. Y'all do with that what y'all will. Jamie and I spoke. They are deleting the post. Take this opportunity, open up the dialogue with her. Apologize, communicate that if you read the interview, it doesn't mean he's cut out of the sequel, but it was a decision of how to end the film. You explain it all in quotes within. Use this opportunity to connect with her and commiserate with what she's going through and how much you care about her, and how that hasn't changed even when she turned her back on you and left you to fend for yourself. She is getting a ton of hate and backlash from the DV community. This is what Jennifer Abel said. They are deleting the post. Take this opportunity to open up dialogue. Okay, the post has been deleted. So which post? Was it the article? Because I did find the article, y'all. I have it right here. Hold on. Where is it? Right here. It ends with us ending explain why Justin Baldoni changed Ryle's fate. The movie makes a key deviation from the ending of the book. So, let's look at what it says. In the original draft, we had a scene in the epilogue where we see Ryle dropping off their child to Lily, and they have a short conversation. It was written in a way that showed that they've overcome a lot over the last 2 years, but I wasn't comfortable with it, and No More wasn't fully comfortable with it either, or with it. And we were trying to find a way to make it work to honor the book, but too much had to be done in such a short window to explain how they could possibly be co-parenting. Baldoni and his team considered adding brief dialogue explaining that Ryle was in therapy or another means of showing that he was actively putting in the work to better himself. But as they prepared to shoot that version, Baldoni decided that the most appropriate ending for Ryle would be to cut him off entirely after he got to meet his baby girl, Emerson, named for his brother in the hospital. So he thought it'd be more of an impactful ending if it just ended right there. And that's a director's decision. I don't want to open up a can of worms and have a conversation about, should a man like Ryle be allowed to co-parent? What's an acceptable amount of work that someone has to do in that situation? It was just way too much. The director also leaned on actual statistics to bolster that decision, knowing that reform is very rarely what actually happens. The truth is, from our research and from our partners, we know that the majority of men go back to being abusers, and that's the fact. And then it didn't feel right to tell a story about a man who was in a minority of that, because that wouldn't be honoring the original intention of what we were trying to tell in the story. So the best ending for Ryle was to look at his wife and kid and the life that he could have had, the life that he blew up, and to walk out that door and for us not to see him again. And that was, for me, what felt the best in adapting the book and turning it into a film, is to say bye to him right there. So I don't know what you guys think about it, but I mean, I don't see why she got upset about this, honestly, at all. Um, Only, I guess, because it says, like, because she wrote a part 2 where she actually does make them co-parent or have them co-parenting and stuff. That, like, maybe her writing is not, like, true to, like, what actually happens, and maybe, like, her writing is unhealthy and setting, like, unhealthy standards as to, like, what the common thing is or whatever. I don't know. Like, it seems like maybe a slight towards her writing, maybe, is what she felt there. But he's the director, and so if when he read the books and he wanted to adapt the book into a movie, he saw this as, like, when he finished reading the book, like, "Oh, dang, like, we should just end it at, or it should have just ended at this." You know how many times the adaptations of a movie differ from the film because of different reasons? And, like, he had, like, statistics and talked to, like, a domestic violence org. Like, as he was like, "Should I change it? Should I not? Let me get feedback, and let me get, numbers behind this." So, I don't know. Let me see what y'all are saying over there. He made a sound directorial decision and got fake news, bad press out of it because he forgot to sell the booze. Colleen lost me. She saw Lively's version was good with it, which was a curve from the book. Okay. So, sorry, y'all. I'm just reading, like, whatever's at the bottom because I don't want to, like, scroll up too high and then get lost in the sauce of the comments and not be able to get through this altogether. Okay. Please delete it. It does nothing but fuel the fire. Okay. We're down here. Can we please regroup? Says, you can say that you have done nothing but honor her and her book and you want to have a conversation and you miss the relationship you had, blah, blah, blah. Because at this point, they just want to appease her because they're like, dude, did we just unleash a pissed off Colleen when she just took something out of content that he had said? And it wasn't really what he said. So I want to go watch the actual interview, the rap interview, and see how that differs from the account that was written in the rap. And then I want to see who the author was for that rap. Let me go look real quick. Just quickly. Who's the author? Andy Ortiz and Tez Patton. And see and this was August 8th. So this article was August 8th. So this is the exact one I was looking for because look, it's August 8th when this was written at 5 p.m. And that Jenna Redfield girl got that text right before she was going to go watch the movie on August 8th. Okay, now I got to do the times and see. She's in Minnesota. So I don't know where this publication is or what is it, 5 p.m. Universal? Because now I'm like, oh my gosh, so she's barely bitching about it on the 15th. But she was pissed since the 8th. Y'all, she probably unleashed her friends and told them, like, go DM this girl, Jenna, like, go see it. Allegedly for entertainment purposes. But, like, because remember I told y'all I was looking for an article between the 8th and the 9th? Because my theory was when I heard Jenna say that Colleen's friends messaged her, I'm like, what did she do to piss her off? And then she did that. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, so I want to go watch the video and see what the differences are. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Fully understand and respect that. Can we please have a regroup? This is Justin Baldoni. Henny Grace is Justin Baldoni. That's his alias. You have to remember that it has her betrayal that landed me in the hospital. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the part that was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna cry." I don't have the capacity just right now in this moment to be the bigger person and do that. You have to remember that it was her betrayal that landed me in the hospital. It's been devastating to me. This message makes my blood boil. And that's what it did to me because I'm like, "Dang, rich of you to be like, you're being mean." Wow. So, yeah, this was the one that was making everybody so upset. Um, Let me see if there was so this is, over here on Reddit, they did, like, a whole slideshow of just the betrayal. I wonder if I should have just led with this since we're, like, going through each text message. I don't know. What do y'all think? Just stick to the text message? But, um 'cause I'm just looking at the time. I don't have the capacity to just right now, so, yeah, that's the one, so let's just continue the betrayal timeline right here. It goes into Justin is not out to hurt anybody, and there hasn't been one lie that has come out of his mouth. All he's been doing is singing the praises of you and everybody else and sticking to the message of the movie, which you knew he cared about from the beginning. This is Jamie Heath giving a message to Justin to what he should write. He asked you about the second book to understand the trajectory of Ryle's character as he was developing the script, which you also understood as he included you on that decision. The above headline is taken completely out of context, but that is not our doing, as there is a PR war going on, and we are the ones that are not leaking anything or trying to destroy anybody. This entire situation was set up to be a smear campaign against Justin. So they're using smear campaign here in these text messages, 8:15. So I don't know. A lot of people were saying that that was a Blake term. But maybe they got it from Blake. Justin didn't want any of this as he's loved and adored you for 5 years. If you actually read the interview, you'll see that he says exactly as it happened, which was the decision that you also supported. It had nothing to do with the second book or not wanting to be a part of it as an actor or changing Ryle's fate. Oh, because did he change the ending at the end because he didn't want there to be a sequel? But the sequel's about Atlas and Lily, but there is parts about how he co-parents with her. Oh, I wonder if it was because he's just like, "Fuck it, there's not gonna be no sequel, like, your shit ain't never gonna get done to another movie." Um, this entire situation was set up to be a smear campaign against Justin, and it clearly backfired. Justin didn't want any of this, as he's loved and adored you for okay, we already read that part. It had nothing to do with the second book, realizing that we did not need to open up a can of worms and show an abuser co-parenting without showing all of the necessary work that had to make it possible. You also know this as he's involved you every step of the way. Wayfarer is also not talking and not firing back. We are continually speaking highly of everyone. We did not ask to be in this situation. This was all created and easily could have been avoided. And then Jamie, I think, says, I don't think we need the following paragraph, which was, I want to share how difficult it has been for me to, especially when the film and I poured my heart into it, was taken out of my hands. I've remained silent as fans began to wonder why I wasn't part of the press or even the photos of the premiere. Being uninvited from Book Bonanza without any explanation left me feeling lost and hurt. Not being allowed to share the premiere with you and instead waiting in a basement until I was escorted to a separate theater with my friends and family who had come to celebrate was incredibly painful. Still, I did so out of respect for the movie and not wanting to derail the celebration of it. Now, if this doesn't like being uninvited from Book Bonanza without any explanation, it's like being like the pee kid, like what I call like being like the kid that like, like the kid that nobody wants. Like he was just like, well, what did I do? Like what happened? It's messed up. Just wanted to share this with you from July, how Isabella Ferreira thanked me and now she won't even say my name. And it's the same text that we've been, putting. I did an edit with this text because yeah, she's like, you're the best. And then she sided with Blake. Um, then here he quotes such a comfortable safe space quote and have a ton of fun, bro. Yeah, friend text me with and have a ton of fun, bro. Friend text with me and Brandon having a bromance for a year and then nothing. So he's basically saying that him and Brandon Sklenar had a bromance for a year and then he ghosted him too. So there's a picture that I have that I'm going to post to my ex or and then maybe I'll link it here. But it's a picture of him, Brandon and Blake. Like I don't know if it's a scene or if they're just chilling in between scenes, but it's like Blake on a couch and they're just hanging out. And I put it in an edit about the betrayal because those were I felt like the people that hurt him the most was Liz, Colleen, Brandon, Isabella, like people that he thought he had made connections with. Um, and they were not true. So it says, flagging that Alex reposted your post. Good for her, Justin B said. So he reposted what post? Not sure if you will ever see this, but 10 years of absolute hell. Oh, okay, so it says Alex Sachs reposted his there was at one point someone had texted him about how they saved him from 10 years of hell after watching the movie. And he posted that onto his Instagram. And so I guess Alex Sachs reposted it. So um she's saying like, oh well, that's good. So I wonder that's when did Alex Sachs turn? I mean, it seems like Alex Sachs was kind of going back and forth from my observations of the lawsuit info. So yeah, those are the betrayal timelines. This was from Reddit. So we could get through it faster. Let me see what else we have from the citizens, because I want to give you guys all the tea, but it's going to take like we still have a ton of text messages if we go one by one. Look, it's still pages and pages. That was only page 5. It's still all the way up to page 34. So I kind of want to just give you guys the highlights here, and then we can get into, let's see what else is going on. Timu Thor. Yes, Timu Thor. Let me just put this up real quick while I get the rest of what we have with Reddit and what people are saying. Was this message to respond to Colleen? Yes, it was. This story just gets crazier and crazier. Yes, it does. He made a sound directorial. Okay, so we already got up to that. Okay, it's a lot of tea. It is. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you, Khaleesi. Justin went through so much, and so many people betrayed him. I know. It sucks. So let's just go look at what the streets are saying. I think most of them are pulled from, hold on, that's not the right one. Most of them are pulled from TV Movie Addict. So this is, I would feel hurt that Justin must have been feeling with the betrayals. When you have a good heart, it's hard to think anyone is capable of such malice. Good hearts break quietly, but they never stop being kind. So this is when he was hurt about Isabella Ferrer. And I don't have audio, so I can't play Bocce's video. But like I said, go check her out because she does a really good video about the tattoo, which we're gonna get into. Here's my heart breaks for Justin. So much betrayal for a woman who he respected and cared for. All for what? What Colleen Hoover did to him was terrible. These messages are so sad. Justin was never the problem. It was always Blake. So it would be interesting to see who dropped this article then. We don't control the rap and their headlines, just as we don't control all the negative and untrue things she and Blake have been saying about me and the controversy that they created. So, yeah. There's this text in there that says Emily Baldoni clocked Ryan Reynolds spying on them. I guess that's why Liz Plank still follows Jamie Heath and his wife. All these people just spying. Ryan unblocked me and Emily so he could spy on us. She had a feeling and checked, and she could see his name, and then I checked, and I could search him as well. I couldn't search him a week ago. So I want to get deep into these texts because I heard Bocce say that it said something about how they had unfollowed 10 months prior to him knowing that he was blocked. And I didn't know that Easter egg. So that must be somewhere in the text messages. But this is where on the 15th, Ryan unblocks them. Emily goes and checks, and it's for him to like see what they're doing on Instagram. So yeah, that's crazy. Let me see. So this is the tattoo. This is the other big thing that came out of these texts. Which is the tattoo. There is a tattoo. Let me see. I think I pulled it up. There is a tattoo that is a heart tattoo that she wears on her collarbone. And I was literally just talking about this the other day because you guys know the dance scene in the movie where he's like nuzzling her neck and stuff. A lot of people don't know that Lily Bloom had a heart-shaped tattoo on her collarbone. And so the reason why he's like snuggles her neck and stuff is because in the book, it actually like a bunch of times says how obsessed he is with her collarbone. And it actually writes in there like how he nuzzles against her collarbone and stuff like that. And so when he was doing that in the dance scene, I was just telling a friend of mine yesterday, I was like, did you know that it's because he actually read the book? So he was like in character as well. He wasn't just doing that just to be like, oh, let me just put my face in your collarbone. It had like people who read the book would be like, oh, that's how Ryle would act or whatever. So anyways, there's this heart tattoo on her collarbone, and apparently it was done incorrectly. Now, like I said, I'm just sleuthing this out with you guys. So I don't know exactly why it costs 100K, because you guys will see that he says that it's 100K to fix the tattoo mishap. I don't know why it would cost 100K if they had already filmed stuff and it was going to cost 100K to refilm or what. But basically, she didn't read the book, and she got the tattooed on wrong. Blake Lively. Okay, let's just get into it. He says, it feels like I'm on an island here when the hate is being directed at me. You guys posting that article. Oh, this is from Colleen Hoover to JB. So this continues the Colleen Hoover betrayal here. It just feels like I'm on an island here when the hate is being directed at me. You guys are posting that article and allowing it to fuel the comments is hurtful. So that article must have been from the 8th. And then they might have reposted it on the 15th, like on his Instagram. I'll have to go look. Oh no, because he said the post got taken down. So anyways, he says, and the timing of it just feels like you're worried about your image, but not the women who are behind this story. I know things took an awful turn and I felt forced to choose when I did not want to. Y'all see the semantics there? Forced to choose? Who forced her? Mr. Gloves will come off Reynolds? I don't know, but the back and forth articles from both camps are just so upsetting and ridiculous. It's making everyone working on this movie look immature. Everyone is out there trying to save themselves, and now this has turned into a huge mess. Everyone is out there trying to save themselves. You guys, who? Who is everyone? Who's trying to save themselves? Blake? Ryan? What does she know? Is she trying to save herself? That's her included? Brandon? Isabella? And I know you guys think I've made decisions for certain reasons, but I have felt the rift from long before I ever was in contact with Blake. It started with me not being allowed to read the script until I was sat with readers. But then all the interviews made it seem like you included me in the script from the beginning. Then the whole documentary thing where I said no so very many times. In the book, when I asked you guys to at least donate a portion of the proceeds to DV, and then I was told the only way a donation could be made is if I took 1% and donated that myself. Then the whole tattoo thing. All the texts of you blaming Blake for that and reiterating that she didn't read the book every time I just try to ask you what to say to readers. I have been disappointed personally by your actions many times. I appreciate that you haven't directly said anything negative. That's how it should be. But you're a grown man with a platform. You know how to use it to protect your image. Please don't continue to use it to harm me or mine. That's all I'm asking. And I'm just like the nerve. If y'all break down, this could be like a whole episode just breaking all of this down, because what? What? And you guys, it doesn't disappoint because Justin, he comes with receipts. So he's gonna clap back. He's gonna answer. So this is what she's talking about, the tattoo. Okay. This is the text message that she said made her look at him another way because he kept bringing it back to Blake. But he was just like, dude, Blake did this. Says, I'm having so many people ask about the heart design. I don't know what to say. Is it being changed, or what should I say the reason for the change was? Just tell them it's temporary, and when it's finished, it will look like it's supposed to. It'll be a worthwhile 100K. So do they not realize it in film, the movie, and this is when the trailer's coming out, or what? Because it doesn't have a date, does it? No, there's no date. I need to sleuth this out further, but it's interesting. What's the timeline on this? Because like I said, he's saying it's going to cost 100K to fix this. Is it through like post-production or what? Basically, the tattoo wasn't all the way closed. It was like a heart tattoo that wasn't all the way closed. Grateful you brought it up. Just another example of what happens when someone doesn't read the book. Just another example of what happens when someone doesn't read the book. Have there been other examples of when she didn't read the book and stuff went wrong? And then she put insane, it costs that much. So the heart on It Ends With Us is not closed at the top. Lots of people have this tattoo from the book, so it's not closed. So it's like an open heart. Maybe hers was just a closed heart. I don't know. Lots of people have this tattoo from the book, and I know they're going to wonder why it's not the same shaped heart. Can visual change the shape of the tattoo, or can we have an answer ready for why the tattoo is slightly different than the book? It looks like this. This is what the heart should have looked like. Not closed. Because Blake wouldn't read the book and changed it from my design. Yes, let me get into it. So yes, he does bring up Blake again. So I could see where she could be like, oh, well, why does he keep bringing up Blake? I'm just trying to find a solution. Like, stop trying to put blame on someone. But he's just literally talking to his friend about how Blake was the one who is causing all this, and now they got to clean up the mess. It's such a minor detail. So once she realizes it's Blake, or like I guess she's trying to take off like 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 don't be so hard on Blake or whatever. She's like, well, it's just such a minor detail. Like all of a sudden, it's not a big deal. When at first she's like, what are we going to tell the readers? But these readers will want an answer. What if I just say the tattoo is slightly different for copyright reasons? So she wanted to lie to the readers instead of holding Blake accountable. I don't know. Yep, on it, he says. And so he's like, how rude. But where are the texts? I gotta find the text before we go, y'all. I gotta find the text. Let me go back to the text messages because he claps back at her, at Colleen, and he says that he has receipts. Like, no, I sent you the script on July 20th, and you were a part of the script. As far as the documentary, we didn't go with it. Let's just go back to the text real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, look at this one. This one's a good one too. Fully understand and respect that Jamie is working through a response. Instead of thinking of this as an olive branch, this is a tactical art of war approach. That's what Jennifer Abel says. If Colleen can come around and is willing to open up lines of communication, that would be a massive message to the world that this issue is solely with Blake and not to all of the women. So it's like Jennifer's trying to make her realize that the reason why it's all these women that are getting backlash, Jenny, Isabella, Colleen, was because of Blake. So Blake used them as shields. She used all of them as shields. Brandon included, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Do not sue me. The truth will set you free. Yes. Because Blake does whatever she wants. Yeah, the same thing with the wardrobe. Like, so she ballooned the wardrobe, and I wondered, did they actually spend the $100K? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. As we continue, let me hide this so we can just get into it. Okay. Okay, so this is another one that Justin was saying. Justin is not out to hurt anybody, and there hasn't been one lie that has come out of his mouth. All he's been doing is singing the praises of you and everybody else and sticking to the message of the movie, which you knew he cared about from the beginning. He asked you about the second book to understand the trajectory of Ryle's character as he was developing the script, which you also understood as he included you on that decision. The above headline is taken completely out of context, but that is not our doing, as there's a PR war going on, and we are the ones that are not leaking anything or trying to destroy anybody. So when she was talking about everybody's trying to save themselves, she's like, I'm not. I'm staying silent and I'm taking all the brunt of it. This entire situation was set up to be a smear campaign. He never wanted any of this. Is this the one I already read? Did I already read this one? Sorry. You also know that it's involved every step of the way because they're all like kind of similar. We did not ask him to be in the situation. This was all created and could have been avoided. I feel strongly about you also responding from the heart since you are also in on this text. It may be a futile attempt, but I think it's a part of the larger strategy. So he's like, no, I think you should respond from the heart. I think your response was way too nice, dude, and I'm a bit frustrated, but I understand the game you're playing. Jamie said, I didn't see this. I replied already. So he already replied to Colleen. So which text did Jamie send? Please know that I'm not saying this to dismiss you. I'm going to dictate something. Jamie, add this to your text message back to her in any part that you want, but this is just what I need to say. So this is Jennifer Abel. So yeah, so she kind of like rewords it a little bit there. All right, Justin should not respond right now except for anything other than to validate what I said. So this is the one that we saw that became my Roman Empire that we saw in the last drop. It started with this. And he's like, I'm leaving this here, Colleen, from my heart. So from this is where I was trying to gather what was the headline? So we've already seen that one. So again, this is another variation of the one line. The headline is taken out of context. Again, they're just kind of like troubleshooting. Like, did you already send it? What should it read? So I think he ultimately sends, it just feels like, oh no, this is her reply. So then let's see. Okay, right here it says, the next 3 days are busy, hair, makeup. I'm going to try to get our social media girl to help me knock it out first thing in the morning. Okay. But as for the script, I'm really pleasantly surprised it's much closer to the book. I totally understand the need for a lot of the changes. There's only a handful of tiny notes. They wouldn't need a rewrite or anything, just some tweaks if you agree with my thoughts. But like I said, I love it. I think it's going to make the reader so happy. I'll do another reread when I get home Sunday and try to get you some notes before the meeting next week if you want, or we can discuss the meeting and get other people ideas as well. Wonderful job. Tell Christy I love it. So he comes with the receipts. This is where his receipts are. Like, look, she's basically saying, I read the script. I haven't read yet. Call me after you read. Hey, just finished. Wow, I think it's great. I can't call you though. I'm on the verge of a mental exhaustion. Oh, so that's just the same thing as this text. It's just the full text. Okay. Um, Yes, it's got a ways to go, but much better than before. We have a bunch of notes, and then I will let you really read the next draft. I think I'm going to do a focus group with some fans. So that's the second draft, is the one that she sat for. Very nice. I know some hardcore fans of that book are in LA. I can point you in their direction. They will be brutally honest. Perfect. Off the top of my head, the switch of the baby names, I get why y'all did it because it helps with the reveal of what happened to his brother. But I feel like it will upset a lot of people that Lily names their baby Riley after everything Ryle did to her. It sort of left a bad taste in my mouth against Lily. That's something we can get the readers options on for sure. And does the name end up being Riley, or it ends up being his brother's name, right? And one big thing is in the book, Ryle admits to having been in therapy for years. I feel like this script hints that therapy could be a fix. With the way it ends with Lily being so nice to her father and how she mentions to Ryle that he should go to therapy. And he says, so I wonder if she was the one that kind of was like also not thinking that therapy part was good. I feel like this script hints that therapy could be a fix. Like, did she not agree with it? It cuts off, so we don't know. Do I get to read the script before them? Yes, we should get it end of next week. Nice. I think anything you do about the book will be exciting for them. People would die to be involved. Please give me notes, and I'm so happy to hear that. And yes, you can knock out the video tomorrow. I'm gonna do my part, and we can get it up. Just text it to me and blah blah blah. So she's like, one small thing is the restaurant named Roots. If we're gonna make Atlas African American, which I love, I think Roots being such an important movie in African American history leaves a bad impression. So this is what Bocce made a video on it. She was saying, like, does this add to the claims of her Blake possibly being racist? Because what if Atlas was supposed to be African American? Why wasn't he? Did it have to do with Blake, or did they just change it? But yeah, so this is saying that Atlas was African American at one point in the script. And she goes, Bocce does a great video on it. She goes into talk about the diversity that was on the scenario plan, not scenario planning, but the marketing planning for the movie when it talked about diversity. So she does a deep dive into this. Go check out y'all's or her video on the whole Roots, this text. LOL, I had 2 free hours tonight. I took advantage. So she reads it. One last thing before I forget. In the book, young Atlas is mortified by his situation. He's respectful, but absolutely embarrassed that Lily offers him clothes and the use of a shower. He quietly accepts because any homeless, hungry, something. Oh, so here's the rest of that one text with Ryle. Based on feedback from the book that the script, in a sense, is almost too forgiving of these men. So she literally said the same thing that later she got mad at him about saying. And that may just be because it's a script and there's more that will come through the acting, but I don't know how I feel about changing Ryle to never having gone to therapy because most of these men don't change. And this almost feels like we're alluding that they can. I haven't figured out what I would change in regard to this though, so let me give it some thought. But I love pretty much everything else. Can't wait to come next week and dive into the process after it's over. Not that signings are hell by any means, but having this event be completely on my shoulders is so stressful and I'm ready for Monday to get here. So some kind of book signing she was at. But yeah, so she ends up saying the same thing he says. Except he just was like, I don't want I don't want it in there at all. The town's vibrant and seen charming shops. I try to keep it the same. They were the 3 coworkers who cheered me on during my writing journey. Oh, he's saying like, please keep these people in there. Nestled in the heart of Maine, plethora has a rich, make it an Easter egg if you want. So I can't just make up the history and use names of people I know, right? Yep. Make it an Easter egg if you want. So he wanted her to plan an Easter egg about what? The town's vibrant scene to attract tourists, and you ask anyone raised here what plethora means to them, and they will surely say it means a lot. I try to keep it the same word count as what's on the sign now. I don't know what it says, share at the top. So she wanted him to include her hometown name, but he's just like, I can't because I can't name real names or people. Um, so here's where the heart design tattoo thing. What should I say about the heart design and tattoo? Um, how about we do dinner Monday? This says May something up here. I wonder what it says. Wait, May 17th? What day is that? May 15th. So is this the dinner where the pictures come out on? Because it says, hey, how about we do dinner Monday night after the Sony thing? I'm just so limited on time there, but I'm free Sunday night. Missed you at the screening. We did fantastic. So what screening? May 16th. I don't know what I've ever seen a trailer make so many people this happy. So May 16th, they were still talking. Maybe we do a bunch of theater visit. Let's do it with Sony just on our own. Yep, that's my thinking too. Just wanted to share this from Isabella. This is incredible. Let's see what other little tidbits are on here, because there's a point where he does include or maybe that was it. That was when he had the receipts of, like, you did look at the script, but I feel like he sends her a message telling her that. I feel like I saw that somewhere. There's the one where he says he unblocked me and Emily. Oh, so this is the response from Jamie to her. I'm sorry to hear about the pain you're experiencing. Feeling alone on an island is just terrible. And this is kind of like telling her, who else felt alone on an island this whole time? Justin Baldoni, right? I want you to know with all sincerity that my team hasn't engaged in anything that would harm you, and they have not contributed to any negative articles. My heart breaks when I think about the distance that has grown between us, especially when I've always valued our collaboration and friendship so deeply. I don't think we need the following paragraph. That's when he deletes that one paragraph. I know a lot has happened since we first worked on the script together, and you feel as though you weren't included before the fan reading. As an effort to remind you, we sent you the script beforehand in July of 2022, where you responded with such positivity, noting how pleased you were that it stayed true to the book, and you even shared your notes with me. I'm happy to share those screenshots if you'd like. So that's the thing. Baldoni has always kept receipts. Whatever they say is the narrative, he'll be like, here's the receipts, and it shows different, as you guys just saw in those. Regarding the documentary, while we may have tried to ease some of your concerns regarding being on camera, we always intended to respect your wishes, which was not to move forward. It was just an idea to bring fans closer to the story. And legally, Wayfarer couldn't donate the 1% on your behalf to the coffee book donation as you graciously requested. It wasn't a demand from us. It was just a legal requirement. As for the tattoo, I'm so glad you pointed out the importance of it to the fans and the DV community while we were early in the edit. We were more than happy to change it in post. Oh, so see, it was changed in post. And the film is better for it. I'm grateful for your insight. So they did end up spending the 100K because the tattoo was wrong. My whole thing is like, didn't anybody see that the tattoo was wrong? Or maybe Baldoni didn't realize it because he had never seen the actual tattoo. Was there an image of it in the book? Or did it just say it was like not all the way closed? Maybe, because I'm like, well, why did nobody notice? That's the only thing. Okay. I completely own that I vented about many things regarding production and the post process, and I can fully understand how that could have been a load too heavy to carry. Please know that my door is always open to you. And then Alex reposted his stuff. Okay, that's just the thing. Everyone's like revising it. So it's like, okay, so that's it, guys. We got through it. Under 2 hours, too. So it's funny though, like if you're Colleen and reading this and you think it's like this heartfelt message from Justin, and Justin literally did not want to send a heartfelt message. He wanted to just be like, dude, are you freaking serious? You're alone on an island? Like, what about Book Bonanza? What about all this? Like, he wanted to come, like, and then all these people kind of like softened it up for him because they're like, look, that's not you. You're just like in a moment right now. But it kind of reminded me of ChatGPT when you like put something in there, like, can you help me with this? And then it's like a bunch of different versions and stuff. But yeah, you guys, that's, I think, all the tea that we have. I mean, let me just go look at the citizen stuff that I had up. There's the tattoo we already went through, the slideshow of the betrayal we went through. And go support It Ends with Lawsuits over on Reddit, and Team Justin Baldoni. Both of those were, they were on it. People were talking about it in there. Let me see if there's anything else. Nope, I think that's it. The only other thing that I want to talk about before we leave is Bocce Go Hawks has her album on Spotify called The Court of Public Opinion. And you guys, this is what I'd be listening to when I'm putting the shows together. This is 17 songs here. After she did the show, I was like, why don't you put your songs on Spotify? And then we just looked it up, and she went and got the service sheet that needed to get it done, and she got it done, like, right there that same night. And so anyways, I wanted to, oh, my audio isn't working now. I wanted to play Be For Real, because I really like that song. Let me see if I can stop sharing the tab and then go back into it, because that's usually what helps. Always look forward. Oh, thank you. Be kind. Thank you guys. Because honestly, I was gonna wait till tonight, but now I can just go about the rest of my day and take care of in real life stuff and go to the gym and all that stuff. Because otherwise, I was gonna be like thinking about it, sleuthing some more. I'm still probably gonna sleuth. Um, but then I probably would have had like 80 tabs for y'all for the night show by the time I was done, because I would have sleuthed all the rest of the day. I'm still gonna sleuth some, and you guys feel free to sleuth, because um, there's a lot of people who came from the chats that then became sleuthers that got inspired. Let me see if I can read some of this chat real quick. Let me go back to sharing the screen, and then I'll get into like some final chats. Thank you, everybody. If you guys have not hit the like yet, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. If you want to become a member, there's also a join button. And yeah, once we end the stream, if you guys leave a comment after in the comment section, you guys can comment. I was gonna say comment calling Judas Hoover if you made it to the end. No, I don't want to. Like, I'm not trying to promote hate on her or nothing, but it's just I'm kind of like how Baldoni felt in the beginning, where he's just like, really, because it's wrong. It is so wrong. Not only were they mean to him, but then they try to gaslight him and make it seem like he's the problem. Like, I'm so disappointed in you. You're a man, you're a grown man with a platform. Like, I wanted to, like, when she said that, I was just like, ooh, it was tough for me to get over that one, because like it was like the Courtney not Courtney Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian meme where she slams the table and she's like, liar, when homeboy cheated on her, and she called the one girl and she wasn't telling the truth. That meme, that's what it made me want to do, like just slam the, like, liar, because it was a lie. Okay, let me see if this plays, y'all. And I wish I could get the lyrics, but I'm not signed in on my computer, so sorry about that, y'all. Oh, can I not play it? Wait, I can't play it? No, I can't play it unless I'm logged in? Okay, well, let me go to her TikTok real quick and play it from there, because she's got just like the small little snippet. Now that it's copyrighted, I don't want to get copyright issues if I play more than a 30-second snippet. I'm just kidding. Let me just go to hers, and that way you guys can see her TikTok and everything. Okay, so this is where she's announcing that the songs are on Spotify and stuff. But where is it? Right here, Be For Real. Okay. It was see calling Judas Hoover. That's what some people were starting to call her, because it's just crazy. She just flipped. So this is called Be For Real, and I love this. This is one of my favorite songs on the tracks. Let me just go back real quick and show you guys all the tracks. Hold on. Oh, it's not letting me go back. Oh, here they are. Smear campaign, you knew better, and they're all about the case. They're all about the case. So here it is. Let me just play it as we head out. And then I'll look into your comments right before I log out.
In the docket, what's it gonna reveal? Is it finally gonna help you out? Oh no, it still helps them out. It shows that they did nothing. Are you not embarrassed, Blake? The way you put yourself on blast. Be for real, Blake, be for real, real. Get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. Check the context. Are you not tired yet? Be for real, Blake, be for real, real. New text in the docket.
How do y'all feel about that song? Could y'all hear it? Could you hear it? Could y'all hear it? I mean, that song is so good. So she's asking y'all. She wrote the song to be even more accurate now that there is new text messages have been released. If every single JB supporter who agrees that these new texts are damning for BL, could you use my new song, Be For Real, somewhere in the background or at least in one of your posts? So if you guys are over on TikTok, you can do the edit super quick. Go to sounds, type in Bocce Go Hawks, Be For Real, or just the song name, Be For Real. It's in TikTok to use as a sound. So you guys can add it. I know Same Girl, Different Time watches my stuff, receives proof timeline. I know you guys all make content over there on TikTok, and anyone else who's over there creating, because I know that they usually like do like little posts with like their thoughts on things, and then they'll put a sound after it. So those are just two off the top of my head. I know there's way more creators over there, but if you're a creator over there, go ahead and check that out. Could you guys hear it? Because yes, CJ, do a freestyle over it. Just add a freestyle. Well, it's Suno, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask for it's like an artist now that she's copyrighted them. I gotta ask for rights to it if I wanna use it in freestyle and make a different version. That's just so fun for her. I told her, I was like, you can start to copyright it for like different like vertical like YouTube shows. Like she writes some good music outside of this. She's got some good stuff like just regular she's a really good lyricist. Like she writes the song lyrics and then Suno basically puts it, but she's got really good prompts, is like, you know, a little raspy here, and she really curates it to where it sounds really good, like, you know, having two pre-choruses or one and all that stuff. So it's a lot of work that goes into it. So please go support Bocce and those songs. Like I said, I want to, you know, maybe start using some of her songs here in the show. So let me know what y'all think. Please remember to like and subscribe. Yes. And let me just scroll, see if anybody else said anything. Yes, I will link the Spotify in my description, and I will definitely do that, as well as her stuff. Slew the way, CJ. I'm gonna try and go live in real life for a little bit. Obviously, it's like training. I'm like, I need to go get some gym in and train for the big motion for summary judgment coming up tomorrow. So I'm like, I might need to give myself a little bit of brain space. But like I said, I want to sleuth a couple of those things out. I should have been taking notes while we were on the show of all the things that I said, like, oh, let me check back on. But I could just rewatch it. Um, so yes, I think I got uh all of y'all's comments here. I appreciate you guys so much. Khaleesi says thanks, CJ, and yeah, we will. Thank you, chat. Yes, thank you. We had a really wonderful chat. Thanks for helping me out to sleuth out the stuff that I didn't know, to go and check, like to see who everyone was and stuff. And yeah, I will put all the links down below. Let me just share this one as we go out, so that way we're on something like that. Okay. I'm just trying to see if there was any chats that I missed. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, mods. Of course. Thank you to the mods. Christina was here earlier. Thank you, Laura. You guys have a great day. And yeah, we're going to be staying on there next because everybody needs accountability, and that's what we're going to do. So share the stories, you know, make some posts, and yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.